And this will be a review. Now, I do have a relationship with the Cane Masters company, and I get a small commission if you buy a cane from one of my links. But the way to get around that is don't use my link. But if you're interested, you can check the link in the description after we go through this review. But you ask me all the time, what is the best self-defense cane? And in my opinion, it is a self-defense cane made by Cane Masters, which has been around for a very long time. And they make canes, make stylish canes too, but they make them nearly unbreakable for the purpose of self-defense. And they have these extra features. First, I want to talk about what the benefits of using a walking cane for self-defense are. I'm going to go through very quickly, briefly. The first thing is, if someone has a tool like this trying to hurt you, attack you, you have reach advantage against somebody with a knife or some other type of weapon, a bladed weapon, or maybe they're swinging a baseball bat or something. You can keep them back and create distance. Second thing you can do is block with your walking cane. You can push them away from you. And then more importantly, you can strike with your walking cane for self-defense, using it like a sword. You can bring it up quickly. You can bring it across and back and down over the top of their head. So it's very effective as a self-defense tool. You can be holding it here, bring it up into your hand, tell them back off, you're too close, and then using a walking cane for self-defense, you can strike to the face, smash them under their chin, or knock that knife out of their hand, or if they're throwing a punch, break their arm. Thrust in with your cane, strike with the backside of the cane, that big fat fist, that big knuckle. You can dig in to the skin on the side of their face or on their body using this edge here for self-defense. And this is where we come to Cane Masters self-defense canes, and this is a review. So the first part of this review is going to be how Cane Masters canes are a little bit different than a regular walking cane that you might buy from Amazon or from the store. First of all, you're going to pay a little bit more, but in my experience, I bought a whole bunch of canes that were inexpensive, $10, $15 canes, and I broke one after the next. And I finally spent a little bit more than $50 for this one. This is the Cane Masters Dojo cane, and it's nearly unbreakable. I've had this now for several years, and I've practiced striking against bags, hitting other canes in demonstrations, and I haven't been able to break it yet. So it's very durable. You're going to see the Cane Masters canes are made very durably. The second thing you're going to see with the Cane Masters cane, which is different than a regular cane, is that you have this wider crook here, and that allows you to practice this spinning motion. And you can practice what's called combat cane spinning, like in an exercise, for the purpose of exercise, for the purpose of building callus on your hands, for the purpose of getting your heart rate up. But it also has a self-defense purpose in that you can strike with it very effectively, creating maximum force and power with these simple spinning techniques. So that's the purpose of this wider crook. Most canes come in at an angle and your hand simply doesn't fit in there as well. You can still do the spin, but it's not nearly as effective as a Cane Masters cane where you can do the spin. So they're purposely made. A Cane Masters self-defense cane is purposely made for self-defense. It's more durable. It has this wider crook, and then it has a bunch of different features. I'm going to go over those now. The first being this bevel, and I'm going to show you, this is one of the new ones I just opened it today, that has that same bevel, and that bevel we can use, and that one's a little bit sharper than most. It's the first time I've been using this one. And you're able to dig into the flesh. You can actually rip flesh with that for self-defense. So that becomes a very useful feature on a Cane Master self-defense cane. And you can see there's a different version on each one of these canes, but they all have that basic bevel there at the edge. So you can have something that's a lot less aggressive and a lot less obvious like that. Or if you like the style of this, or these here, you can see it's kind of a little face there with their little eyes, then you can have something like that. The second thing, as far as features go, that's unique to a Cane Masters cane, and you'll start to see these a little bit more, but Cane Masters kind of pioneered this palm rest. And the purpose of a palm rest is when you carry a Cane Masters cane especially, it's most effective when the crook is facing backward. And that allows you to bring it up quickly between his legs or maybe smashing that hand. It also, as you lean into it, using it for a mobility tool, which is what its original purpose is, it allows you to be ergonomically in a better position. You can also lean your weight back here against that as the crook is facing out. I think I showed you backward. This is a traditional way, crook facing back. Crook facing out is a little bit more effective, but you use this here, this palm rest to lean against. That gives you a little bit more support on your wrist, takes some of that pressure away, but you also have another striking surface. So if you're holding it in this position and he's coming too close, you tell him back off, you're too close, and then you can immediately jab and strike with this. You're holding it with two hands, becomes almost like a hatchet or an axe for self-defense that you can use to defend yourself. The other features that you'll see that are unique to cane masters, you can see these on others, but again, cane masters pioneered all this. So when you see these on another cane, it's usually taken from a cane master's cane and then somebody else has just used their design. In my experience, I get other canes from other manufacturers trying to get me to make a video with them to help them sell their cane. But they think, they send me a free cane and I'll just make a video. I test them first and they break almost every time. They're made at a poor quality. So if it's not a cane master self-defense cane, you're not going to get the higher level of craftsmanship. You're not going to get a sturdy enough cane to really defend yourself well with. So you can see this, that adds to your ability to keep it into your hand. You also have these here, but those will also rip flesh when you are using it for self-defense. This one also has those features there, but it has this teardrop shape. And you can see that here again on this one. And that teardrop shape will isolate all the energy or take all the energy and concentrate it into what I call the dull blade. And as it comes into his arm, as he's trying to hit you or choke you or stab you, that'll compress his flesh and break the bone faster. So that's another unique feature that you'll find on these Cane Master self-defense canes, where you have this edge here, where they've removed the material, allowing it to move through the air faster, so you can hit a lot harder, a lot faster. And when you make contact with that beveled edge, it's going to compress the flesh and break his bone for self-defense much more effectively, much more quickly. Now, Cane Master self-defense cane can be carried for any reason. It's just a really stylish, attractive cane. And I like this color wood. I really like this color wood. This is very attractive to me. And you might like what you like. The nice thing about Cane Masters is you can have them finish it in any color that you choose, in any kind of finish, and then oiled or unoiled. You can have it sealed or unsealed if you want to do your own. Some people get a basic cane like this one, and then they will stain it whatever color they want to stain it, and they'll oil it, and they'll finish it the way they want to finish it. But they're extremely customizable. You can customize them any way you want. That's the word I was looking for. You can see this one comes with that wrist strap. Put that around the wrist from the thumb first, and then as you're holding it, you can keep it in your hand as you're defending yourself more effectively. And if they were to pull successfully, you can allow it to go, just like the way you would carry a police baton, police law enforcement, the old straight batons. This is how you would carry your billy club or your police baton. So you can carry it in that way, but it also gives you a better grip as you're defending yourself. You're getting sweaty, there might be some other fluids, and you are defending yourself here. You're able to hold on to it better because of this 540 cord, paracord. You could also remove it if you needed it. Let's say this is your survival cane. You need it for some purpose like that. But the main benefits of the Cane Master self-defense canes, as far as this review goes, are it's a very sturdy, stylish, attractive cane. Cane Masters makes canes that look better than most of the other canes that I've seen. That's why I prefer them. They also, if you could feel how heavy they are, they're heavy because they use a solid wood. You can have them made in oak, you can have them made in hickory, and then they have different versions of oak and hickory. And then the way that they finish their canes, so they soak them for days. They have like a patented process where they put, and I can't talk about what's in it, but it's an oil polymer kind of mixture kind of thing. But they soak it in that after they finish it to not only seal it, but to bring the moisture back into the wood so that they become nearly unbreakable. So when you invest in a Cane Masters cane, and you can invest as little as, just dropped it, my dojo training cane. This is my everyday practice cane. This one I've used for years and years, thousands of times now in both demonstration, practice, training. I train with these all the time. And it lasts forever. And this is really inexpensive. This is probably the least expensive you can get. And this one would be one of the more expensive. This is kind of in the middle. And you can check the link below if you want to see what they really cost. And it's one of those things where you get what you pay for. And I was thinking about this the other day. I remember, like I said at the beginning of this video, I would go through a lot of practice canes and break them over and over again until I bought one practice cane. And this one cane is less by 2/3. It's 2/3 less than all the money I spent on all those cheap canes. So at some point you make a decision and you're like, you're gonna get what you pay for, go for a little bit higher quality, and then you don't have to keep replacing it because you break them because the other ones are so cheap. Same is true with like martial arts weapons. For years and years, I would get these bow staffs, these long staffs, or Joe staff, a medium-sized staff, and then you practice with it, and then when you start to practice striking things and hitting things with it, then they splinter and they break. They break all the time because they're made out of cheap wood. And then I'd go to like a martial arts tournament, and there'd be some guy there, he was a craftsman, he made his own staff, and he made it in a traditional way, like the way the Japanese made them. And it was a beautiful staff, and then you look at the price and you're like, oh, sticker shock, it costs so much, until you realize I've already broken 10 of the cheap ones at 50 bucks each. His is 120. I would have saved my money and I have the same staffs. When I finally understood that you get what you pay for, and when you invest in quality craftsmanship, you're not gonna break it over and over again. Not to mention, and then these are self-defense tools. If you buy a cheap self-defense tool and it breaks in your hand, you have no self-defense tool in your hand anymore. If you buy, spend a little bit more, it's not just breaking your training tools and have to replace them all the time so that you spend more in the long run, but you actually don't want to ever. It's like buying a cheap gun. You buy a cheap gun and it jams all the time, and that happens to people all the time. You effectively have no self-defense tool. If you have, I carry a very high quality, very nice self-defense tool every day at work. And, I clean it weekly. I take really good care of it. You have to take care of your tools. And if you carry something like that, then it's gonna work when you need it. I put thousands and thousands of rounds with it or through it on the range, and, clean it really well every time, oil it up, weekly oil it, make sure, and then I do a lot of dry fire. And I can dry fire with it because I know that it's not going to fall apart. I could buy a much cheaper tool, and then, you get what you pay for. And then when I go to need it or to use it, it's ineffective and it doesn't work. You have no self-defense. So the same is true. If you buy a Cane Master self-defense cane, it's not gonna break in your hand the first time you use it for self-defense. And if you ever do have to use a Cane Master self-defense cane for self-defense, you need to know that it's not going to break because it's so well made. It's made out of the right materials. It's made by an artist who is here in the United States. It's made in a way that it's been tested over and over and over again. This is the best selling self-defense cane. And the reason why is because they look good and they're extremely durable. So if you invest in a self-defense cane, it's going to be there when you need it. You're not gonna have to replace it because you break them in the practice over and over, and you end up spending more that way, and it's gonna last you a lifetime. And then you can pass it down as an heirloom. One day, your grandkids will get it and they'll say, that's Grandpa's cane. And then they'll pick up the art of cane self-defense, and they'll be in their backyard spinning, and when they need it, they'll have the perfect gray man, gray woman option. Perfect self-defense tool that goes anywhere and everywhere that you can go. So this has been my review for Cane Master self-defense canes. I don't think you can beat them. I've seen so many options. I've seen a lot of other like hard polymer plastics. I've seen metal canes, and I don't like any of them nearly as much. I don't like them at all, actually. I don't like the aluminum canes, the heavy canes. I don't like the big, it's just a personal preference. That doesn't mean that they're not good. It just doesn't work for me. I really like the feel of wood, and when you get old like me, and you've been around for a long time, and you realize there's different quality in both materials and craftsmanship, and you get something that's made by a craftsman and that's made out of the right kind of materials and it's finished in the right way, like a Cane Master self-defense cane, then you know you're gonna have it forever and you're always gonna be able to use it. Yeah, RC says, I love Cane Master's cane, never without it. I saw the comments coming up, but I've been wanting to get this done. Hey, Stephen, it's good to see you. Stephen's in Great Britain. I wanted to get this done because I know that you might be thinking about buying yourself a cane for Christmas. I sometimes buy myself things because I know I'm the only one that's gonna buy it. Or you're thinking about getting a gift for somebody else. So if you're thinking about buying a Cane Master's cane as a Christmas present or Hanukkah present or an end of the year present or birthday present, or just because you like somebody and you want them to have a little bit nicer looking cane, then this is the way to go, the Cane Master self-defense canes. Speaking of that, I go to the VA a lot now. I never went before. This year I've gone probably 30 times. And I see these guys, so many guys at the VA have canes, and some of them have some pretty nice canes. But when you see, yeah, RC Robertson says, got many compliments on his cane. When you see a Cane Master's cane, it really stands out. And all the other canes just look cheap and gaudy and silly compared to one of these. Plus, when I see an older gentleman or a wounded vet walking with his Cane Master's cane or her Cane Master's cane, I know that they have a self-defense mindset and they're ready to defend themselves, because Cane Master self-defense canes are designed for self-defense and they're just really attractive. So let me know in the comments below if you have a Cane Master's cane and what you think of it. And if you think it's too expensive, put it down there too, but do the math with me and tell me how many other canes, if you've actively practiced, how many have you broken, and then add that up and then compare that to buying one cane instead of what I did at the beginning, where I broke cane after cane after cane after cane. Because it's the first time you hit it against the bag, they're cheap for a reason. $10 cane is gonna break first time you hit it. And then if that's self-defense, you need to defend your life, and it breaks the first time, and maybe you can stab them with the broken end, but you have no self-defense. So think about the Cane Master self-defense cane, put the comments in the comment section, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the comments.